This Q&A will feature C. Thomas Howell, who is most known for being in The Outsiders. He also worked with Steven Spielberg in E.T., the Extra Terrestrial. He was also in Red Dawn, which was when the Soviets attacked a high school. He is in the TV series Southland, CBS Criminal Minds. He's in Grimm. He appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man. One thing I really like is that he's a rodeo superstar because this is Texas and we care about rodeo. All right, let's give a big round of applause to C. Thomas Howell. Woo! You pick your chair. Ah. All right, let's get these microphones up and running.
Okay, Wolverines. I'm gonna move up here, man.
That's fine. Wherever you want to go, I'm flexible.
So impersonal. There's like 7 people here. Let's pull it in.
Do you guys want to move up a little bit? That way we maybe don't have to yell.
Come on, let's be friendly.
Let's be friendly, guys in the back.
Okay, I'm sitting here. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, careful. Billy West cut himself on this thing a year ago. Yeah,
I won't ask. Is this weird? Because now some of the people in the back can't see me. But who cares? They're on their phones. We're all right. Let's do it, man.
I like that sound.
What's your name?
My name is Shay.
Nice to meet you, Shay.
Yeah. Oof. I should have introduced myself yesterday.
When we were in the elevator? No, we were waiting.
Yeah, there are no elevators in Waco.
We were struggling trying to open some cellophane crackers. Yeah. So what's happening? What are we going to do?
All right, so what we're going to start off with...
Are you going to drive the bus?
Am I going to drive the bus? I do drive the bus, but I also let you drive. It's a 2 steering wheel apparatus. All right. We're co-captains.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'll take over for a while.
That's right.
So sometimes you'll drive, sometimes I'll drive.
That works for me.
Yeah. I have to catch a plane in a little while, so we have to drive fast.
You're going to make me speed?
Yeah, we're going to speed through this.
All right, so I want to hear how it all began for you. What got you, because you were a rodeo superstar, and you were like, you know what, now I want to be famous.
Well, my father was a professional bull rider. True story. Before he became a stuntman. So I was raised in the atmosphere of rodeo, and did that when I was a young boy, a young lad, a young cowboy. And then because he was in the stunt business, I was raised in the film business and started acting as a sort of a young lad. I got, my role in E.T. because I could do some of the stunts on the bike. So I did some stunts as a kid, and that sort of went hand in hand in getting some of the roles until finally people were saying, dude, you don't ever have to do stunts. You can just say these lines. And I said, okay. And that all happened at a young age. And it was, I was a product of the environment. I was raised around the film business and had started acting at a young age, and it seemed comfortable to me. And then, I started working as a kid, did a few movies before I realized that I think I did The Outsiders, and then I did, Red Dawn and a couple of other movies. And it got me to The Hitcher, and that experience was the one that made me feel like, oh, okay, this is something I want to do for my life. And I worked with some really great actors and committed. I was like 17 when I did that movie.
That works out. Did you know Felix Silla was also in rodeo and stunts? You two have a lot in common.
I'd like to see him in rodeo.
Yeah? He does bareback.
Really?
Yeah, that's his thing.
That sounds like porn.
It does a little bit there.
That's okay. That's all right.
So you transitioned out of doing stunts, and then you, went after bigger roles. Like, how did you approach Outsiders? Did you know you were going after the big role, or were you just...
No, when you're a kid, you just are pretty much in the moment, When I was 14, 15, so there was no pressure. I didn't have bills to pay. There was nothing, I hadn't been suffering for my craft for years and years. So you're just there, and you're... It's a very different thing, I think, when you're a child actor, because you're not trying to really impress anybody, except I just concentrate on having a good time primarily. And I was working with really good people. Francis Ford Coppola is Academy Award-winning director, and put a great cast together. I mean, Tom Cruise and Matt Dillon, Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Diane Lane, Ralph Macchio. Incredible cast, and great material. It's going to be the 50th anniversary of The Outsiders, the novel, next year. So 50 years, that thing now. and it's been about 32 years or so, 33 years since we did the movie. And it's just such a you know, it's an iconic piece of literature. It's required reading in about 80% of the schools across America in grades 7 and 8. It's, you know, a piece that's about love and the struggle to find it and to fit in, done in a very simple way, you know, and it touched a lot of people. Its conception was remarkable, written by a 16-year-old girl as an essay in school, S.E. Hinton, and her teacher had the foresight to say, you know what, this is really good. You should continue doing this. And she turned it into a novel that was published by the time she was 17.
I did not know that. If anyone has any questions, just raise your hand and I'll come bring you the microphone. Just as I look out, just get my attention. So you've done movies and you've also transitioned into television. So what's the difference with working on set for movies, working on set for TV? What do you like to do as far as a recurring role? Because you're in a lot of stuff. I mean, your IMDb profile is intense.
You know, I like to play flawed characters. I like to play characters that go through sort of an emotional arc. I like to find the humanity in bad guys. I like to find the humor in good guys. I like the juxtaposition of finding both in both those type of roles. But, you know, I like to just challenge myself. I like to put myself in difficult situations. I like to do things. I did a role on a show called Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. I don't know if you've seen that, anybody here, but it was, you know, compromising and difficult and challenging and turned out amazing. So, you know, I tend to find that when I challenge myself, the work is generally worth it. And like anything else, when you go for the dollar and, you know, you sell your soul, you pay in another way. But it's okay to do both. So sell your soul, kids.
That's the takeaway. The last takeaway from the last Q&A was bribe police officers.
Yeah. This one's sell your soul.
Use your fame to get away with felonies. Do you consider your best work your most popular work?
Well, I don't know. Because what I may consider to be my best work, other people may not agree with, right? So that's a weird thing.
That's why I asked you what you thought.
You know. I mean, I thought my work on Criminal Minds was really good. I thought the work on Southland was solid. I'm just talking from an acting perspective.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you suck in a piece, and it's not really necessarily your fault. I mean, there's some really good actors that are really bad in certain things. But it takes a miracle to be good in a movie. You know, you got everything going against you. And so when you see a really good movie and somebody's really good in it, it's next to a miracle. And I'm so grateful to have, you know, been in something like E.T. or The Outsiders or, you know, The Hitchers, I think is a really good movie, underrated movie. But a movie that I did that I think is maybe one of my best movies that very few people will know about is a movie I did for Warner Brothers with Juliette Lewis and Eliza Dushku. It was her first movie. A movie called That Night. It's a great little movie about, you know, growing up in the, you know, East Coast. It was like the beaches of Maryland and actually maybe even a little further north, Jersey. Love story set in the late 60s. Really cool piece called That Night. So check it out if you have. I think you might be able to find it on iTunes, but I don't think it's on Netflix.
We'll look for it. I'm a big fan of, well, obviously I'm going to watch your stuff now, but I like Eliza Dushku because she was in Dollhouse. She's my girl.
Yeah, she's cool. And this was her first movie, and she's really good.
You ask a lot of great questions, so what do you got for us this time?
As someone who actually fought the Soviets, what is your take on the Red Scare surrounding Bernie?
Right, I personally fought the Soviets.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, man. I think we're talking about the board game Risk, because I moved into Irkutsk and kicked Yakutsk ass and won the game. Say that again.
What is your take on the Red Scare about Bernie and people accusing him of being an evil communist and stuff?
Oh yeah, talk about politics. That seems
Yeah.
not dangerous at all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We'll touch on religion next.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna give a really smart answer there and just say, I will say this as political as I will get here, and people say it's this way every election, but I feel it particularly in this one. Wow, I'm gonna probably have to write in. I'll have to write in my own candidate because it's tough. It's tough. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, won't be easy. What about you? Why don't you answer your own question there?
Well,
You're dressed for this.
because he says he's a democratic socialist, they automatically think Red Dawn, Red Scare, evil communists, and what they don't understand is that Scandinavian socialism is nothing like Stalin communism or like the communists you fought.
So you're for it.
Well, I think he's got a lot of good ideas. I think Trump's got some good ideas too, and so
The Captain America artist, Alan, he would love to talk to you about that. He has
At
been
his
talking.
table
He's been talking about pro
right now.
Bernie for the past 3 days. He's a huge Bernie Sanders fan. Don't tell him I said that.
That's awesome.
So you worked with.
Thanks, man.
Oh, did you have a question?
Thank you.
Yes, my husband actually wants to know. I think I asked you earlier, but he's working back here so he can hear. He wanted to know how much you keep in touch with the Outsiders cast and if any of them you're especially close with.
Ralph's one of my best friends. I speak to Ralph all the time. All the time. See Matt occasionally and Rob occasionally. Never see Emilio. Never see Tom. And have come across Diane a few times, and she's amazing. Still amazing.
Yeah, she is. She's great.
Yeah.
All of them are great. You are great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's from Spock. It's pretty badass. Spock thinks I'm great.
What was so you obviously had to go and audition for a lot of the shows that you do. Do you get automatic the parts now that you want, or do you still have to go in and test for certain roles?
There's times I get offered stuff, and there's times I got to go in and test. But I don't mind that. I want everybody to be sure that what they think they're getting is what they're getting, and what I think I'm getting is what I'm getting. There's some times when I'll take gigs that are straight up offers, but I like to go in and meet and work for a second together, see if it's going to work for all of us, and that way when the offer goes down, everybody's stoked and it's on. Or you can say, hey, that felt weird. I'm not into it. So there's pros and cons for both. Like you like to get offered stuff, but it's good to go to work first.
You like working for your pudding.
Yeah.
All right, Spock, what you got?
Well, I was wondering, when you made that movie Soul Man, like after you were done, were you walking around with that stuff on still anywhere? Or
I have it on
tell
right
me about
now.
the experience.
I never took it off. I'm black underneath this white face.
I love that movie. It's an awesome movie, and my son's name is Marcus.
Right on. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the process for The Hitcher.
Well, The Hitcher was, really the first movie that I accepted that I was the legitimate lead of. I had done a lot of, things like The Outsiders and Red Dawn and just ensemble cast stuff. And I think I had done Secret Admirer too. And then The Hitcher rolled around, and it was interesting because I had a meeting with John Avildsen to play Ralph Macchio's role in The Karate Kid. And I read that, and I read The Hitcher, and I chose The Hitcher over it. And, Ralph went on to do like 3 or 4 Karate Kids and made $1 bazillion. I did a cool little art film with some people that won awards called The Hitcher. I think I made the right decision, but it's ironic how it all goes down. That was the beginning of it. Right?
Yeah, but he had, Jaden Smith play him in a movie, and so at the same time, I think you kind of evened out in the end.
I had Sophia Bush play me.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can come up to the microphone and you can ask.
I get no questions. There you go. She wants her $5 back. All right.
But baby, The Outsider has always been one of my favorites.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you.
Ah.
Hell of an actor, and I like the hell out of you.
Stay gold. Awesome. Thank you. That was a good moment.
That was a good moment. She
Yeah, I
seems to
felt
be
the
a
love.
genuine
I
fan.
felt the love there. Her back. You don't even want to sit on. We're going to look at each other for a minute. It's all right.
I know. She kept looking at you. It's like, I don't know if she has a question or not.
We just look at each other. We're good. You look so yummy in that Batman sweatshirt.
We're a group. I got my son, he's 6'8". He just walked over that way. He's Bane. I'm the Riddler.
Wow. Bane, the Riddler. Who else you got?
Okay, Harlequin. Then we got Poison.
Harlequin and Poison Ivy.
I love you so much, I'm going to get him.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Look, she running.
You might have to cough up a hug or something.
Awesome. Look at her
Yeah,
go.
yeah, a super fan.
She still got the moves.
She's gone. She's actually not coming back.
Fantastic.
She's gone forever
Oh,
now.
no. That woman ain't leaving. Look.
Oh, that is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's on right now.
Oh, he's excited.
It is on.
You just
That's
know he
good.
is.
He's 6'8", she said? How tall?
I think I see him.
Oh, my Lord. It's like Suge Knight walking in. Oh, my God, man. Right? Everybody behave right now.
While we're waiting on them to get up here, did you want to ask your question real quick?
You said you like to see the humanity in the bad characters, but was it hard transitioning from like a good character like Ponyboy to
Okay, yeah, there you go. So
the
start over.
serial? You said you like seeing the humanity in the bad characters, but was it hard for you to switch from like Ponyboy to serial killer and Criminal Minds? Go from good to bad characters. Was it hard for you to transition?
So the question is it difficult for me to go from a good to a bad character?
Yeah.
It's funny. And, you go through discoveries as an actor when you're playing different roles, and you can tell the people that really do the work, somebody like Tom Hardy, who really makes specific choices for each character, and there's people that just play themselves every single time, and those people are obvious, and that's not better or worse. Usually when you play yourself all the time, you're making a lot more money because you're a success and people love that character. But I tend to admire the chameleon aspect to acting, and I hadn't played a lot of bad guys, and when I did The Hitcher with Rutger, again, I was 17 years old. A lot of people were very afraid of him on the set. The Blade Runner, he's intense. He's a pretty intense dude. Played a lot of heavies. He played a lot of bad guys. And I was having lunch with him alone, and I just said, Rutger, people say you're brilliant at playing bad guys. Like, what's your secret there? What's the deal? And he has this really thick Dutch accent, and he never really raises his voice above a whisper anyway. You can never understand what the hell he's saying. But he kind of grinned and picked some tobacco out of his teeth and said, "I don't play bad guys," which freaked me the hell out. And, I had no idea what he meant by it. I was too young to understand what he meant by it until I did the Criminal Minds role. And, it read as a really bad guy, but I knew that I didn't, it was an intelligent role. It was somebody that was hiding for years as a victim of who he truly was. So he ended up stabbing himself, calling the police saying a guy with a mask was here. And so he was immediately taken off the list from the FBI, which I thought was very intelligent. So I found that, well, I don't need to play a bad guy. I just need to commit to this role. I need to be a good guy that does bad things. And then the Rutger Hauer conversation kept replaying. and it finally made sense to me. You know, Rutger never, the reason why he was so good at playing those roles was because he never actually played into that hand. He just believed in what he was doing, found the humanity in those evil characters, and brought them to life and made them much more scarier because they were more relatable that way. Sometimes, you know, when we're watching the larger-than-life characters, they're fantastic and they're over the top, and we love that, but they don't affect us deep down like Rutger Hauer's ass will, you know? So I learned a lot, and, you know, it only took me 30 years to figure out what the hell he meant. But I'm close to breaking the puzzle.
Well, you play them both well.
Thank you so much.
And then, you know, I love The Outsiders and I love Red Dawn, but did you see the new Red Dawn and what did you think about it?
I lasted through about 30 minutes of Red Dawn. And just some of it was kind of funny to me. You know, just having North Korea invade us, first of all, was awesome. Right? Because North Korea can't invade North Korea. So the fact that they can invade us is pretty awesome. So I like that. And you just didn't really care for the characters. There was a lot of big explosions and a lot of stuff happening quickly. But it taught me a lot because one of the things that, even though Red Dawn at the time was considered an action movie, it was still a character-driven piece with, you know, written by the amazing Kevin Reynolds, who develops character well, and John Milius, who's probably one of the best writers ever as far as screenplays are concerned. It really taught me a lot because they understood character, and that's what made the two movies so different, in my opinion. And after 30 minutes, I turned it off, so maybe I missed out on the good stuff.
I love the original, but thank you.
Thanks a lot. I see you back there.
He is 6'8".
You're patient.
Tall
man.
guy.
What's going on, man? Yeah? Hey, he don't look impressed. Dude don't look impressed at all, man. He's playing Words with Friends right now.
He's just so nervous
That's all
meeting
right.
you.
That's all right. That's your son? Okay, good. If I have any problems, do me a favor. Keep an eye on your mom for me. Okay? Just keep me safe. That's it.
I'm a truck driver, so I don't get out much. So
It's all right.
I apologize.
You're the people that keep us people like fed with the things that we need.
But you're in my collection. Okay? Seriously.
I hope that's not code for something.
I think you're on her free pass
What the
list.
hell that means?
Her celebrity free pass list.
She's gonna keep me in a pine box in the back of the truck. The rest of the bodies. Oh my God. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my kids loose because they're probably crazy, mom type thing. So.
That's all good. You brought life to this party. Thank you. Thank you. Look, that's her kin right there with the mohawk. That's with her. She's with him.
Yeah, he's special, man.
That's right. That's awesome. Have a good time. Bye.
So to elaborate on her question, which was how do you get in the mindset to play villains, you know, that do good things, you know, and then good guys that do bad things? I guess it's just you find the thing that makes you that person. Like what? Because there are no real villains. Like everyone is the good guy in their own story. You know, I'm a personal fan of Ursula
The
from
good
Little Mermaid.
villains
Yeah.
believe they're doing good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just
That's
overzealous.
That's what I learned, you know. And when you watch a show that you might think is not that great, generally it's because of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's because there's no 3D like emotion behind the villain.
Right.
Like why are they doing it? They're
Yeah.
just a jerk. They're a jerk for no reason.
Yeah,
You know, like did their father not love them enough? Like that would do it, you know.
that's right.
Yeah. So you worked on movies. Now you're doing a lot of stuff on TV. What kind of projects do you have coming up?
Well, I just did a movie with Woody Harrelson that's coming out in October called LBJ that Rob Reiner directed about Lyndon B. Johnson. It's a political movie. Super cool project. I was on that for a few months down in New Orleans. Had a great time. Woody is a great actor. He plays LBJ. And I'm looking forward to seeing it because the work was amazing. And I got a new show on TNT that I'm just about to be a part of, and we'll talk about that next time.
No, yeah. You must have signed that NDA that they were talking about in the last panel. They couldn't give us any of the good stuff.
It's like, awesome stuff is happening, and I can't tell you anything.
Yeah, that's about right. So you were in Southland, and then
Yeah.
you were in Grimm. Tell us a little bit about those sets and working with those crews, and then I want to ask you about Ralph in a little while as well.
What the Grimm sets?
Yeah, like what's it like interacting with those characters, working with Fox?
Well,
versus
it's
working
interesting
with-
because first of all, I don't watch the show.
What?
So I'm not a fan of the show. So I'm not going there going, oh my fucking God,
Oh my God!
I'm working with you. Fuck.
I just touched
I've
you.
never seen them. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit who you are. Get me some coffee. Right, when we go to work. But there's the occasional experience that I'll have where I'm working with somebody. You know, I did a movie called Woodlawn last year with John Voight, and I was pretty impressed by him. And he played Bear Bryant. We didn't actually have scenes together, but we were there together, and that was good enough for me. I remember I'd be like, you know, standing there at the table, like fighting over the honey with John Voight to make tea. I'm thinking, that's John fucking Voight, man. Let him have the honey. And so things like that are cool. I have a lot of respect for, you know, a lot of actors. It's a hard thing to do, to be an actor for a long time, especially if you're a child actor. You usually end up in rehab and then at Stuckey's. Not that that's bad for those people that have been to rehab and work at Stuckey's. I'm proud of you folks. I am. But it can be a difficult thing. You know, a lot of child actors aren't. You know, Christian Bale did it a little bit. I guess he's had a little bit of success. But not a lot of people really do it. So I feel blessed to do what I do.
And you didn't Lindsay Lohan, you know.
Right, yeah. You know, it's by the grace of God, I haven't been in and out of treatment. But it's difficult. It's difficult to have that amount of success at a young age and, you know, not maybe the greatest examples around you in the first place. And, you know, it's easy. You see a lot of people lose their shit, you know. But we're blessed to do what we do. That's the thing, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to be here to talk to people like you and share some of my experiences. I love that I've been able to travel and work and meet and learn and create friendships and just grow as a person. And it's been an amazing, you know, experience the whole way.
So I love hearing about best friends. You say that Ralph's one of your best friends. When you guys were working together, when did that moment happen where you were like, I'm going to be friends with this guy until I'm dead in the ground?
Well, that could have happened when he picked off the mushrooms of the pizza and I picked off the mushrooms of the pizza. I was like, dude, are we best friends now? And he was like, yep.
That's a deep bond.
And I was like, no fucking way. You listen to Bruce Springsteen? I listen to Bruce Springsteen.
I think you're making fun of me right now.
No, man.
I think
that's
you
what
are.
You asked me the question.
That was
And I
a
was
good
like,
question.
I fucking love you. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was awesome. And then probably when we burnt that fucking church down, we were bonded for life.
Yeah? Arson? I feel like that would do it.
That did it. I was just like, shh. I got you. Shh. Okay, you're going to get in the box. They're going to sweat you. Okay. You just deny. We did not do this. And then we'll be going home, listening to the boss.
I think you're making fun of me a
No.
little bit. I think you are.
I
That's
would never.
ridiculous.
I would never.
Whatever.
That's exactly what happened.
Don't talk about how
That's
you
exactly
two
what
clicked.
happened. But you know when we broke up a little bit,
Oh my God.
Ralph and I? I was at some convenience store,
I think I'm gonna quit.
the local Piggly Wiggly, and I pumped in about $1.50 into this Miss Pac-Man machine, and I was finally at the high score. And Ralph, little Miss, you know, I'm impatient and gotta go, decides to unplug the machine on me. Right? Right? You feel me? So still to this day, 35 years later, I'm awfully fucking bitter. I've done,
gonna pretend
I've
like
done
that's the
everything
truth.
for him. I've done everything for him, and he unplugged the machine. It's okay. Next question. I hope you're all happy now.
I'm
You
not
brought up some
happy.
old dirty laundry.
Dirty laundry. Pink shirt.
I like this. Open mic night.
What's up, Thomas?
How are you, bro?
I got here a little late, so
That's okay.
I'm sorry about that. I was going to ask you, how'd you get into to acting? And can you sign my Gettysburg DVD?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. Well, yeah, I explained that earlier, but the quick answer is my father's a stuntman, and so I was raised in the business, thought I would do stunts, and started getting some acting roles because I could do some of the action, like I could ride the bike in E.T. and say some of the lines. So I started acting, and then I got The Outsiders. And generally when you go from Spielberg to Coppola in your first 2 movies, yeah, it's all right, you got something happening. So I rode that wave for a long time. And then I hit the wall in my mid to late 20s trying to figure out what I was doing. Did a lot of bad stuff. When I say bad stuff, I mean just bad movies and bad roles. Gettysburg was awesome. That was like 92 maybe. But that was sort of that was an amazing experience, Gettysburg, Gods and Generals. But then, when I sort of got some wrinkles and some gray hair, my career changed for the better. And, when you're a child actor, it does a lot of work for you. But when you're kind of like boy man, there's not a lot of work for you. And then, you're sort of young boy, and there's some work there. But then there's man boy, and there's no work for you again. And then there's man. And then there's a whole universe. So that's really what happened.
So you go from being a serial killer to a cop or a detective, and then serial killer. Is there a big variation there in how you approach the roles, or are to all people that approach?
There's not a big difference between cops and thieves. I mean, and I mean that with respect. They think the same way. There's a survival method of existence that both have cultivated. But I never know what I'm going to do when I accept a job and I have a character to create. I go through a lot of things. Does he have a limp? Does he talk funny? Does he? At the end of the day, I just want it all to be connected to the piece. I don't want some random choices, and I think it's important to entertain, and I try to bring humor to moments that might not be viewed as a humorous moment, and find challenges like that. The puzzle of the unobvious choice, if that's a word, or a choice that isn't the most obvious, and trying to have that make sense in what I'm doing, as opposed to people just going, dude, you're out of your mind on acid. What are you doing? So there's a real process to filmmaking that's scientific to some degree, and luck has a lot to do with it. I've been very lucky and very unlucky, and you can see that in a lot of different films. And just like all other actors, you have to have a lot of luck to be good in a movie. Yeah.
Do you still ride horses?
Yeah, I just went riding with my father a couple weeks ago.
He's not still doing stunts, is he?
He does a show. He's a stunt coordinator of a show called Longmire.
Really?
Yeah, my dad does all those stunts.
That's really cool.
Yeah, my dad's tough as hell. My dad kicks death's ass.
Do you get to do any stunts anymore when you get to work?
Man, I'm having a family that are all stunt people. I'm like, ooh, that's a job for a stuntman right there.
So you're like, that sucks. Yeah.
But you know where I really want to have a stuntman? When there's a lot of running.
Yeah.
Like I can
That's a body double.
I'll
That's not a
fall down
stuntman.
those stairs. Oh, but then you want me to run to the car? I'll need a double for that.
Yeah, like a whole body double.
Right. It's just terrible.
wish I
Okay,
could have
now we need
one
another
too.
take. That was great. Let's do it again. Dude, I just ran to the car 15 times. I'm dying. I need a stuntman for that.
In a trench coat, and a shirt, and
you
a
pull a
tie,
hammy,
and jeans.
you know, like-
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. We have a couple minutes left.
On Grimm, was there a makeup process? There was, actually, because they had to do a full head cast, and which was super creepy because they wrap your head with all kinds of things, and it shrinks on your face and dries, and it's like a hard cast on your head. And you're thinking, well, people could just walk away right now if they wanted. And they get you out of that, and that's about an hour and a half of you sitting deep within yourself.
It's
It's
a
a
dark
freak out.
thought to have.
It's a
They-
freak
they
out.
could just leave me here.
Well, the whole thing's a freak out, really. I mean, when just consider your entire face and your
No.
ears, and your entire head being wrapped in plaster Paris, and it drying like a cast on your arm or your leg, but around your face.
Do you have like straws in your nose? Was it like the face?
It's not a party. Right? No, man. This is serious shit. I'm
You were
working.
so difficult.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's going on. Did she just? All right. Anyway, right. Hollywood's just one big party. Yeah, I had just straws in my nose, cocaine everywhere, my face wrapped up in plaster Paris. All right, guys, going in for more.
It's a very specific kind
I
of
love
party.
Grimm. Great show. There's
Best
Grimm.
parties.
Best parties. I think you could, but my nose, to take that question seriously, because sometimes they do put straws in your nose,
Proud of you.
but I don't like that. That's a weird thing,
Yeah.
because you know they're taking fucking shots and posting it.
Like on your
I
Instagram and
guarantee
you
it.
can't
They're
delete them
like,
for an hour.
I got this shit on silence, okay? So I don't have the straws out of my nose. Yeah, that's Tom Howell, head wrapped in plaster Paris with straws in his nose. He doesn't need them, but we told them he should have them. That's what I would be afraid
They
of.
bring in like 6 like half-naked men to dance around you quietly,
don't
and then they
mind that.
take photos of it.
I don't mind that. You say that like that's a terrible thing.
I'm saying that you don't know what's happening.
But you're okay with straws in my nose.
No, well, I wasn't okay with the cocaine
dancing
story
man.
that just evolved out of nowhere.
This is taking a terrible turn.
One more question. Black Canary.
Her mom wants to know if I ever met S.E. Hinton. I have. I'm a good friend of Susie Hinton. She's a great lady. Where's your mom? So your mom's in Dallas and said, hey, if you're down there and you run into Ponyboy, ask him if you ever met the author of the book. That's cool. All right, good. I'm going to go catch a plane. You guys are cool. Thanks for listening to me babble.
Yeah.
All right? Had fun.
Are you going to do a photo op or...
Maybe a very quick photo op.
All right, if you guys are super quick, you can head over to his table and you can talk to him, get a photo, something good like that.
And then I'm headed out. Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody. Okay,
and he's
thank you.
leaving for a jet plane.